Good morning. It's Monday and it is time for me to leave on my trip. And I am going to Phoenix, Arizona. This is for my corporate trip, and I have specifically not mentioned where I'm going on purpose. It's a safety thing, same thing that I'm not posting while I'm there, where I'm at. I will post about it, and this vlog will come out well after I've gotten back. It's a safety thing. If you're an online content creator, you should be doing something similar. I've got the last of everything that I need all packed up, and it's time to eat some breakfast, have some coffee, and wait. Cat's taking me to the airport. All right, cool. All right, I'm here at the airport with the big bunny. Very big bunny. He's still huge. I realized before I left for this trip that I don't think that I have flown or really traveled in probably close to 15 years, well before my kids were born. I haven't stepped foot in an airport in a really long time. It was very stressful and I was worried I was gonna mess it up. And I kind of did because I didn't realize where luggage drop-off was. I made it all the way to security before I realized I had to go back. But yeah, it's been a really long time for me. I've made it. I'm in Phoenix. We'll talk in details in a minute. The Phoenix airport is so big. We had to take this tram to get from our terminal all the way over to the car rental, and it took like a solid 10 minutes. This place is massive. By this point, luckily, I was with my coworkers who were all very experienced travelers, so I was in much better hands at that point, and the rest of the trip was much less stressful in terms of navigating being a traveler. And then there were these really amazing art pieces all over the airport that I thought were just so cool. Also, we flew Southwest, and their seats are teeny tiny and very uncomfortable, and I was shoved between two full-grown adult men, and that was really hard. I did not fit well. Thank you. Yay! Hi, I have made it to Phoenix, and I would like to say, number one, I think planes were a terrible invention. I hate planes. Why does man have to test nature and defy it at every single turn? The flight was about an hour and a half long, and there was turbulence for almost the entirety of it. And it was particularly bad for the last 20 to 30 minutes of the flight as we started to descend. I thought I was gonna throw up. I was not doing well. I'm here in the hotel now, we're all checked in. And I went and took my phone down to the phone repair place because I have a Pixel 4a and this new software update that came out just obliterated the battery. So I'm not gonna have a phone until tomorrow while they're working on it. And I popped over to Walmart and got some food, some snacks and stuff for just general functioning throughout my day. And for after work when I'm back here at the hotel. I'm tired. It's been a really long day. I left the house at 8:30 and didn't get here to my room here in the hotel until about 4. So I'm tired. We went as a group to go have lunch at 4 o'clock over at Red Robin, which was good. I had the salmon and the broccoli. And we're going to be getting together again at about 8 to maybe go have like a small light meal or maybe a dessert or something. I got a lot of walking in already. I'm at over 11,000 steps for the day. And I'm not done. So I'm gonna set up my computer and maybe put some of my clothes away so they're easier to get to in some drawers over here and try to get comfortable until it's time to go downstairs and hang out with my teammates for a little bit. But, I told Allie that I would get her a Squishmallow while I was here in Arizona and then I would bring it home to her. And I had an idea of taking pictures of the Squishmallow in various different places that I was seeing and visiting while I was here, and I found the perfect option. Look at them! How cute are they? They're just small enough that I could take one around with me wherever I'm going and take pictures of it. But how cute are these? I think these are so perfect. They're little cactuses, which is exactly what I needed to make her think of Arizona. So I'm I'm very pleased. I think these are very, very cute, and they're not too big, which is great. So overall, we're looking pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to get any video editing or any like business stuff done today because it's been a hell of a day. So I think I'm just going to get comfortable. Check in later. So this is my room, and this is the best you're gonna get with the lighting. It's not very bright. It has the longest hallway I've ever seen in a hotel room before. So weird. But I have gone ahead and set myself up with some protein shakes and my vitamins and my medications. I've got some stuff from home, popcorn, some makings for like yogurt and crunchies. Got some snackies in here, apples, grapes, strawberries, yogurt, some cold brew coffee, snackies. And I've got a little area that I'm setting up for my computer, a little chair. There's this nice little couch, my tripod, and then here's the bed. It's going to be very weird being in such a quiet place all by myself. My totally not spoopy forever hallway. Or entryway, or whatever. It's a nice hotel. It's a Marriott, and not paying for it, so that's nice. On the company dime. So I have about an hour to kill before it's time to go downstairs and see my coworkers, so I think I'm gonna just hang out and maybe send a message to Kat and to the kiddo, let them know that I don't have my phone until tomorrow. So, yeah. It's so heckin' windy down there. You can kind of see the palm trees really going in the wind here. Oh my gosh. Arizona, why you so windy? Damn. It's really hard to get a good shot in here. The fluorescent lighting is so bad. It makes the banding on the video just god awful. But it's, I don't know if you can hear it. It's so windy. I'm so glad that I'm not out there anymore. Remember I mentioned I was out taking a walk and I went down to Walmart? It was starting to get windy by the time I was coming back. Whew! And I'm so sorry about the banding. I can see it. There's not much I can do to fix that in post, too. It's a little better if I put it on manual because then I can adjust the shutter speed and the ISO, and that seems to help. But yeah, it's windy as fuck out there. So definitely staying inside. Happy Tuesday, folks. I got my phone back and the battery is in tip-top shape now. I let it completely die and then recharged it all the way to 100%. So yay, functioning phone with apparently a significantly better battery than I had before. So that's really, really good. I am very, very tired. I woke up this morning at about 2:30 and managed to get back to sleep for another couple hours and woke up at 4:30 and just could not get back to sleep. It's about 10:30 now, so I've been going for a good portion of the day, did my corporate shift, went and ran errands with with my teammates, and then went and had dinner and came back and went to the gym and been doing some video editing. So I'm just a beat. Excuse me. So I think I'm going to try and get some sleep. Maybe, hopefully, better sleep than last night. I don't want to wake up at 4:30. So I'm going to try and get some sleep. Good night. Talk to you tomorrow. Good morning. It is now Saturday, and I have been working like crazy. I haven't really vlogged at all because there hasn't really been much to vlog. I have been working and going to eat with my coworkers so that the company pays for the food, and then coming back and basically going to bed. Arizona is an hour ahead of California right now, so what happens is I wake up at 6 a.m., which for me feels like 5 a.m., and get ready and go downstairs and have breakfast here in the hotel with my coworkers, and then we leave and go to work because our shift starts at 7:30, and I spend all day on my feet, helping the new hires and working with training and the coaching and everything. So I do all that. And then we end work at 4 o'clock, and we go and have dinner, and that takes a couple hours. And then I get back to the hotel and hang out, and I go to the gym sometimes, and then I just crash. I'm so tired. I had to get a little bit of video editing done. I thought for sure I would just be like flying through video editing, but I am barely getting any done. So I'm hoping to get a ton done this weekend. I don't have a whole lot else planned. But today we are going to go to the Desert Botanical Gardens here in Phoenix, and we might go check out a farmer's market. And I need to find an option to get some cash so I can get some quarters so I can do some laundry. We don't have a cuck chair, we have a cuck couch, and the whole cuck couch is covered in laundry. I need to clean my clothes. But I need quarters to do that, because what year is it? It should be 2025. I should have an option to do like card on the machine, but I don't, and there's no change machine here. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I need to find quarters. Overall, Phoenix has been interesting. It's red here for sure. Everywhere we go, it's Fox News playing everywhere, all the time, always. And people just talking stuff that like, oh, pro Elon Musk, which really? The man does a Nazi salute and you guys are still pro? Got it. So I'm just trying to kind of keep my head down and be safe and do what I need to do. So we're gonna go try and have a good day. All right, see you in a sec. I should probably provide a little bit more context in terms of the timing here. We flew out on Inauguration Day, so things were weird the first few days, and every day since, honestly. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are plenty of people in Arizona who are absolutely lovely, and it certainly was not Texas or Florida in terms of what we were hearing and seeing and dealing with, but it was a very definite difference for a Californian. And there are some other mitigating factors that provide some context in terms of how we were handling things and how it felt to be there, especially in the current political climate, not only as a queer person myself, but for some of my coworkers that I was traveling with. And that's not my story to tell, so I'm not going to go into detail here. But, you know, it was kind of a hard thing to miss, but did try to at least enjoy the really beautiful scenery. Being here at the Desert Botanical Gardens in winter was probably the best possible time to go. Phoenix was much, much drier in terms of humidity levels than what I'm used to out in Sacramento, but the actual temperature was pretty comparable between the two places, so it was very comfortable just walking around and seeing everything that was here and all the wildlife and the cactuses and things like that were growing here. Absolutely beautiful. I'm really glad that I got the opportunity to go and to see all of this, and please don't think that I'm constantly trying to harp on politics or anything like that. It's just, especially right after the inauguration, it is difficult not to notice. It is difficult not to be aware of it. I'm sure most of the folks who watch our vlogs and watch our main channel videos are in a similar boat, that you become very aware of it. And it was nice to have some time to not think about that a little bit and to just enjoy nature and the beauty of what was here. I don't know if this is normal crowd levels when we were there, but it was a very reasonable amount of people. I think the ticket to get in was about $35 maybe, which seemed reasonable. We were there for a good 2 or 3 hours, so I felt like we got our money's worth. And I did my best to get these good little traveling vlog shots here. It was surprisingly easy to find moments where I was the only one there, and so I could take some nice clean shots. I do try really hard not to include other people in shots if I can, because I don't know if anybody's comfortable being filmed or being on camera or anything like that. So I do my best to cut those bits out where I can, or to just avoid filming them entirely if possible. I did live in the deserts of Southern California for a few years as a kid, and I had really forgotten the feeling of being in the desert and how big a lot of the plants, like the cactus and the Joshua trees, are when you're out here. A lot of this is, native flora that would not be in Southern California, but some of it is similar. And it's all just very, very big. I think sometimes we lose the concept of the size of things that are in the desert. And I'm very, very glad I got to enjoy it while I was not, sweating like crazy in the middle of summer in Phoenix. Luckily, that was not the case. We were out there in January, so much better weather. I don't know if we're still working at my corporate job by the time the summer rolls around, if I would be willing to go back and do this again during the summer. Maybe, we'll see. We don't know if we're still going to be employed by that point. And by this point in the trip, it had become very apparent that I was not going to get remotely the level of work done on anything business-wise that I had been so convinced I was going to be able to do. So this was all just personal, really. I filmed quite a bit, which was nice and I enjoyed, but I just enjoyed time to myself and just being me. It's not often that I get time without my kids and my husband and cat around, and time completely just with myself was, gosh, I don't even really know how to explain. If you've been a mom or been a caregiver in any way, I think you probably can recognize how overwhelming it can be. As much as you love the people that you care for and you want to be there for them, it is nice to have a reminder of self. So I think for that alone, even if I didn't get a whole lot done business-wise, was really good for me as a person. So I'm glad that I went. Oh, and this was one of my favorite areas. One of these cactuses, I want to say, is like 85 years old. And look how big they are. I'm 5'8". So to give you a scale here of how huge that is, I am not a small person, but man, those are huge. And just looking up at them was so impressive. There they are against the sky. Wow. And I know sometimes some of you have asked where I work for corporate job, and I still don't want to talk about it yet. Once I get laid off and my severance time is finished up, I will definitely tell you all about it. But in the meantime, I am enjoying the fact that they paid for me to be in another state for 10 days and to get some time to myself. And I worked my butt off, but it was definitely worth it for the free time that I had. And look at those cute little quail. I love quail. We always used to see them when I grew up in Southern California, and I always thought they were adorable with their little feather on top of their head and the cute little noises that they made. So it was neat getting to point them out to my coworkers who were here at the Botanical Gardens with me. And then we also spotted, we'll see him here in a second, a roadrunner. I think neither of them had ever seen a wild roadrunner, so that was fun to point out. And you can kind of tell there's this haze that started to show up throughout our time there. And there's the roadrunner. How cute is he? Look at him with his little tail. If I were to sum up this entire section here, just nature is rad. Nature is so cool. So like, here's a roadrunner, and then the little quail run behind him, and just, I had such a moment. I really enjoyed getting to see that and capture that on camera. I'm so glad that I did. It was such an interesting combination of nature and humanity coming together in this spot, because you could see in the distance sometimes there was plains and there was the cityscape in the background, and then all these really beautiful art installations all over the entire gardens that I hadn't expected and I thought were very, very cool. And you've seen some of those in the silver and in the gold, and there'll be some more here in a moment. But it was all very peaceful to be out in nature like this. I'm really glad we got the opportunity to go. And here's some more of those art pieces. How cool are those, right? Very neat. Hi, it's Sunday, and it is basically our last day to be tourists here in Phoenix. So we have plans to go to the Taliesin West, which is Frank Lloyd Wright's workshop house out here in the Phoenix area in Arizona. And then we're going to go to the Phoenix Zoo, and then we're going to go to this pizza place that my boss really wants to go to, and then we're going to come back to the hotel. So it's going to be a pretty busy day, but it should be Like busy, but like a chill busy, if you know what I mean. So I'm all ready to go, and I'm packing up the camera right now, and we're gonna get going. And it turns out we didn't end up going to Taliesin West. My boss just put in the address to the GPS for the zoo and forgot to do Taliesin West first. Which was kind of a bummer, but the zoo was really cool. I think we ended up being there for, about 3 or 4 hours. And my coworkers all rented these giant animals. Which never stopped being funny, watching them drive these silly things all over the zoo. I don't think they initially intended to drive them for as long as they did, but they rented them until they literally couldn't rent them anymore because they were dying. And it's just very funny. It was me and our one other coworker that did not rent them. We walked around the whole time, but all the others were riding these silly things. Fantastic. Ultimately, I basically made the decision as to which facility we were going to. There are apparently 2 zoo facilities in the Phoenix area. I went with this one because it seemed to be more focused on education and conservation and scientifically based. The other one, as far as I could tell, was owned by a former exotic animal dealer, which, I don't know, the vibes are not there for me. I really wanted to, if we're going to go to zoo, I want it to be one that is focused on helping animals and not really the focus being on making money. I don't know the quality of that other zoo, but I tend to go with the more scientifically based ones if I can help it, which I think was a good decision. Obviously, there is always a discussion about the ethics of zoos in the first place, and I wanted to make sure that if we were going to a zoo, we picked a good one. It didn't feel like there were too many animals in any particular space. It felt like they were all very well cared for. Quite a number of them had their facilities sort of built into the natural landscape of the area, which I thought was really cool. We'll see some more about that later on with some of the ungulates. And there was, at one point, someone who works at the zoo looked at me and said, "Gosh, you look really familiar." And I froze up and panicked. So if you work at the Phoenix Zoo and you think that you saw me, yeah, you probably did. If you think you saw me in January, I can almost guarantee it was me. And I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to assume. I also don't know that person recognized me from our channel. But if you did, because I know there's a lot of queer folks that work at zoos, if you did, it was me. Hi, I'm sorry. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm just awkward and I never want to assume that somebody knows who I am. That's so cringy. I couldn't. I do also have that face that sometimes people mistake for other people. So it's possible that was the case, but if it's not and you really did recognize me from here, hi. Thank you for being cool. And then this was the landscape that I was talking about. So these are some local mountain sheep, I think. Mountain deer? No, not deer. Sheep. Oh my God. Sheep. And their whole enclosure was really heavily built into the local area that they would naturally be living in. And it was a big, huge hike to get up here. So it was very cool to see them just doing their thing in a space that was natural for them. Them and their fluffy butts. And again, I very much did my best to try and enjoy the time that I had here. Every single day was go, go, go with something all the time, whether it was working or doing activities like this or trying to get some errands and chores done or going to the gym. I really busted ass while I was here. And we had a lot of people in the office asking if we would be willing to come back out again because there's probably going to be more trainings. Not to give away too much about where I work, but I was absolutely training people who are going to be replacing me, but not at my location at Phoenix. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to go back, to be honest. I enjoyed the break, if you can call it that, given how much work we were doing. It was like working 14-hour days every day the entire time we were gone, but I don't know if I could go back again, especially since it would be much later in the year and it would be hotter. I mean, at least there were things that I didn't get to do that I could maybe do a second time. Like if we went back again, I could go to Taliesin West, which I really wanted to go to, but I don't know how much I would want to handle the heat. So if you're from the area, let me know, how bad is it normally during the summer? Is it death? It feels like it would be death. I'm used to it being 100, 120 degrees in Sacramento, and it is death. Oh, okay, and this was such a moment. So this particular animal right here, I forget what type of primate it is. He. You'll know specifically it's a he here in a minute. I had an intense moment here. So I was the only one over here, and there's this big glass, and he walks over here, so chill, and then sits down, makes himself comfortable, very comfortable, and then he looks at me. And right about there is when I realized that he knows I'm there. He is very distinctly aware of the fact that I'm there. And he's looking at me, and we're looking at each other, and holy shit, they're really smart. And it became very uncomfortable very quickly. Like this is something sentient, and it definitely knows I'm there. Oh boy, okay. And I had to walk away after that and have a moment to myself while I sat with that feeling, because wow. And it wasn't that dissimilar of a feeling over here with the orangutans, especially since this one must be an absolute sweetheart, because he came out of this little facility here, which led to the outside, and he spotted that there were some kids over there against the glass, and he tried to feed them. Like he picks up some of the food that's there in front of the glass, and he tries to feed the kids. And it was so sweet. And then he dragged his blanket over here, and he just took the biggest heckin' nap, like the biggest flop. Everyone there was basically like, wow, buddy, same. Because he was just so comfortable, and I think we were all a little bit jealous. There he is. Look at that. Look at that amazing nap position. My guy here knows how to nap high quality. And this was another one that was just chilling. And a couple of times our eyes met here too. And same thing. This is a deeply intelligent creature that I am looking at. And that was intense. And then there was this guy. I don't know that I've ever like sat and watched one of these guys move. But they are like serious dinosaurs. Like especially seeing his face and the way that he moves and the way that he looks around. Dinosaurs. This was dinosaurs right here. Look at that guy. Absolute dinosaur. I can only imagine. I bet the original Jurassic Park team, when they were using puppets and stuff, looked at things like that to make decisions on how they moved. And then more quails, because I love quails. And how cute was he? I got really close to this one, so I was able to get a good shot here. I thought he looked so neat on the wood there like that. Look at him. Ah, he's so cute. I like animals, if that were not immediately apparent. And then if you like animals too, here's a really good one. Look at this little bunny. Look at this cute little bunny with his little hops. Oh, adorable. And that's right off the walkway where like people are. And I'm so glad I got to see him so close. He was so close. My camera is not zoomed in at all. He was just right there. But let's round up my yapping with just a little bit of relaxing water. So, looks like we are all done at the zoo, and we're not going to get time, I think, to go to the Frank Lloyd Wright house, which is too bad. We were supposed to go there first, and we didn't, so boo. But it's fine. Maybe next time. But I think we're going to probably go check out dinner here soon, and then I don't know how much is going to be left on this vlog. We'll see. Good morning. It is the final day here in Phoenix, and it is Thursday, and I am so tired. I foolishly thought that being out here would mean I was going to have so much free time. I was going to edit so many videos. I was going to get so ahead of the game on my social media stuff. I had less time here than I would have had at home. I don't know how that happened, But it did, and I got wildly behind. I'm very, very tired, and I'm going to be taking Friday through Monday off. I would have had Saturday and Sunday off anyway, but I took Friday off and Monday because I need time to recover. This has been such an exhausting trip. We are all packed up and ready to leave, so I need to go downstairs and get checked out of the hotel and get some breakfast and some coffee. And we're going to go work like a half shift at corporate job before we drive to the airport. So I don't know how much more I'm going to film. I think I've said that before, but it remains true. So we'll see. I'm really excited to go home. I miss California a lot, and I miss my family, and I miss my bed and my house and everything that's familiar to me. And I don't know, it's been interesting being here. I've had a good time with the places, and the scenery is beautiful, and most of the people I've interacted with are very nice, but it's hard not to notice the extremely conservative red underpinnings of the area. So it's hard to feel completely safe, but we're getting out of here today. Thank you. I'd like to go home. Thank you. And I didn't talk about this at all on camera because I did not want to jinx myself, but we were flying home literally the day after that really horrible plane crash in DC over the Potomac. It was stressful, very stressful, coming back home and flying on that day. Everybody in the airport was definitely subdued. Everybody was very, I wouldn't say on edge, but there was a vibe, for everyone. And we got home safe. There was almost no turbulence on the flight back, so it was a much more comfortable flight. And I felt like the rainbow on the previous shot there was definitely there guiding me home. That's Salt Lake City and Carson City that we're flying over now. And we were just rounding off into the Sacramento airport here. It's the final sort of turn before we flew over into the airport. So we were technically, I think, basically flying over my parents' house at that point. Yeah, it was a little stressful. It was a little stressful flying. I don't think I intend to fly again for a very long time, especially with the current state of things now that I'm recording this in February. And landing is a horror movie. I cut out the audio for this land because Jesus Christ, it's terrifying. Well, everything's shaking and just, okay. I don't think I can do planes anytime in the near future. All the plane crashes aside, it's very stressful being on a plane. It's stressful flying, it's stressful traveling. I think it is not for me. But I was finally home. Alrighty, well, I am officially back home. It is Friday. Got home late last night. I was so exhausted. It was a long, long day. So I think we're going to go ahead and call this vlog here because it is also launch day, and I think I'd like to put that in a separate vlog. So this is your usual hydration reminder. Please make sure you hydrate, get some food, get some rest. I know things are stressful out there right now for a lot of reasons. So sending you love and a reminder just for some basic self-care. Have you taken a shower recently? Not saying you stink, of course. Love you. But, sometimes it do be like that, where you don't get a shower. So grab a shower if you need one. And we'll catch you for the next one. So we're going to get started on launch day. Cool. See you later. Bye.